Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking all new things McGrath, from her divine blush duos to her new petite mini eyeshadow palette in Midnight Voyage, and how I create this makeup look. We're going to go through side-by-side comparisons with previous blushes from McGrath, and everything that you need to know. Starting with her divine blush duos, I went ahead and picked up all 6 different shades, new shades, limited edition blushes, and I'm gonna give you all the comparisons side by side, swatches, you know, all the jazz. Also, McGrath just launched a mini eyeshadow palette, a nugget palette like this called Midnight Voyage for $29. It features 6 shades. 5 of them, they are repeated shades from Mothership palettes current in her collection, and I think that is a great way to try her formulation. If you're not ready to, you know, spend the money on a Mothership palette, or if, like the name implies, Voyage, if you're going for traveling, you don't want to take a Mothership palette, the Color Story, which is more purpley, kind of lilac-y Color Story with a few neutral tones, if that calls your attention, I think, either way, if it's your first eyeshadow palette from McGrath, or if you just want something on the go, I think it's a really good way to go about it. It is now available at Sephora, also at McGrath's website. I will be leaving all the details of all the products that I will be talking about today on the description box below, along with the links for your convenience. And this mini palette, which is a nugget size, if you have shopped at, say, Sephora during the holiday season, usually McGrath comes out with these mini, not only eyeshadow palettes, but lipsticks that they come in a little gold bag with full of sequins, right? It comes like that. It is tiny, petite, little, and cutesy. But honestly, as a person that reviews makeup all the time, I do have pretty much everything from McGrath, all her Mothership eyeshadow palettes. I didn't feel in the necessity to actually buy it, but I actually have seen it in person. So here I'm going to create an eyeshadow look very quick with the eyeshadow palette. If you already own some Mothership palettes, one of the shades on the Midnight Voyage palette comes from Subversive, Mothership number 3, and is this shade right here, which is stunning. The other 3 shades come from Brown Seduction, which it is one of my favorite palettes, and is this shade right here, and also this shade, which is a gorgeous eggplant tone. So you can tell right there, the vibe that is giving this palette. It's gorgeous, purpley, eggplant. It's a beauty. Now this shade right here, this matte shade, it could be that my palette is getting to be too old, but it's not a hard to work with shade, but it's a shade that, you know, it's an intense shade. It does have a lot of pigment. It's purple, so you need to go little by little to build up on pigmentation. The other shade, it's from Divine Rose number 2, and is Eleganza. This gorgeous shade right here is stunning. So that's pretty much the palette. And then the other shade, it is kind of like between a coppery and a pink metallic kind of shade. And honestly, to me, it looks very much alike to, if you have the Pillow Talk Dreams. This is a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow quad that just launched, a month and a half ago. This shade right here, it does have a little bit of copper, it does have a little bit of pink in it. This is pretty much what you're getting for Midnight Voyage. Honestly, a gorgeous color story, because if you think about it, these 2 shades right here are very neutral. These you can, just use it on your lash line. This shade right here, although not very innovative, right? Nothing like, oh wow. I feel in a way it makes the eyeshadow palette very wearable. And then if you want something for the nighttime, midnight, then you go for the more deeper eggplant purpley tones. Okay friends, let me get you closer and let's start with an eyeshadow look. BK Beauty 201 brush, and let's go for this shade. And I'm gonna apply it above the crease. See, super easy to blend. And again, I have seen the palette in person it's super beautiful. I have touched and swatched the eyeshadows, and honestly they feel as creamy and as good as the ones from these Mothership palettes. So in regards the formulation and the quality, I think it's of a really good quality. I'm taking that same shade and applying it on the outer V. G Builder Pro, and I'm gonna go to this gorgeous shade and I'm gonna apply it pretty much on the outer third. Going next with Eleganza and a Smith 253 brush, and I'm taking it from the inner portion of my eyelid all the way until the outer third. You see, and this deeper shade right here brings out a little bit more of that purple undertone from Eleganza that otherwise, if you pair it with something that is too pink, it brings the pink of it. I mean, like, Eleganza is such a gorgeous shade. Rephr 03 brush, and I'm gonna go to this light shade right here, and I'm just gonna apply it on my inner corner and on my brow bone. Rephr 02 brush, I'm going to this brown shade, and I'm applying it on the lower lash line. G Mini Booster, and let's go to the Eggplant matte shade, and I'm just gonna take it on the outer V, just deepen a little bit the outer V. Let's just pretend that the new shade from the Midnight Voyage eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath, it's alike to this shade from Pillow Talk Dreams, and I'm just gonna apply it right on the center of the eyelid, just a little amount. Up. Done with the eyeshadow look, I just went ahead and applied some falsies from VELOUR, one of my favorite brands for lashes. I do have a 20% discount code. I'm pretty sure I will be leaving it on the description box below just in case if you are a person that loves to wear lashes. So anyhow, this is the eyeshadow look. I think it looks so beautiful. So it's intense, yes, but I mean, the color correction, it's very pretty. Now going into the Divine Blush Duos, they come in 6 different tones. They are made in Italy. They have a shelf life of 18 months. They cost $44, but they come with the same amount of grams as her previous blushes. The ones that they are permanent on the line, 9.7 grams of product, but these ones, again, they cost $44, while the permanent ones, I think they are $38, $39. Well, let's see what is special about these blushes. Honestly, there was not a lot of information in terms of like if the shades are repeated shades and they are just put together. Honestly, that's not very clear. And by the way, I'm filming in natural light, so hopefully these will give you the best representation of how the products they look like if you are looking at them in person. Now, as far as the compact goes, it is the very same as her permanent blushes. There's nothing different. Very beautiful lacquer kind of like compact, Pat McGrath in the middle. And let's go with the one that caught my attention the most, and this is Venusian Sunrise, which is a gorgeous lilac shade with this pinky tone. Let's go ahead and swatch it. Ooh, they feel nice and creamy. Nice. Okay. Lilac, and then a beautiful, very kind of like light coral shade, like a flamingo kind of shade, and that is Venusian Sunrise. BK Beauty 108 brush, and I'm gonna go first with this shade, and I'm just gonna apply it right on the front of the cheeks. Now I'm just gonna flip the brush and I'm gonna go to the lilac tone, and I'm gonna take it above and drape it. Okay, it's not a super cool tone shade, and it's actually very flattering. Now I'm gonna mix them in. I'm gonna swatch it right here so you can see them if they are together. Beautiful shade. Okay, using the same brush, I'm just gonna swirl and let's just buff it. Oof, so intense. I went ahead and applied some lipstick because my lips were feeling a little bit naked, but let's go for the second blush, and this is Aphrodite Amore. Very pretty shade, and let me show it to you right next to Venusian Sunrise. And I'm just gonna mix both of them. Aphrodite Amore with 2 shades alone and then mixed. Refer 18 brush, and I'm gonna go first with this lighter shade. And I'm just applying it here on the front. Seems like it has a little bit of satin finish, but it's not emphasizing my enlarged pores. Now I'm gonna flip the brush and I'm gonna go to this shade. This looks like a bubblegum pink. Do you see right there the sheen that it gives? But it's not a highlighter, just very nice satin finish. And this shade is really pretty too. You have it. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and mix both of them and just blend it all in. Venusian Sunrise on my right hand side, Aphrodite Amore on my left side. Next shade, Divine Rose 2. It's a very lovely shade too. And here we have what it seems like more of like a matte finish and then a satin finish on the roses. I'm just gonna mix it. Going now with Sonia G Cheek Brush, and I'm just so excited. If you don't know, these were limited edition. They're coming back in stock so soon, and I'm just super excited about it. Okay, let's go first with this shade right here. And applying it again on the front, the cheek, and then flipping the brush and going to this shade, which is more, not mauve, but it's a little bit cooler in tone. Oof. It's intense. Now I'm just gonna swirl them, and I'm just gonna buff them so you can see how they look together. I'll blend. Cosmic Coral. Ooh, these. Oh yeah. These two right here. Pretty. And I'm just gonna mix the two of them. Cosmic Coral. Refer 04 brush, and I'm gonna go first. This shade. Ooh, okay. Very pigmented, and this one is more like a matte finish. Yeah, it's more matte. Now I'm gonna go with the side of the brush, and I'm gonna apply it right here. Now I'm gonna mix both of them lightly and just mix them. Now this became a little bit more warm tone that way. Divine Rose 2 on my right hand side, Cosmic Coral on my left side. I have kept Cosmic Coral on this side because although not the same, I feel that this shade Paradise Glow has just a little bit of this kind of neutral tone that we see in Cosmic Coral. So let me just show it to you. It's not identical, but I just want to see how they look, you know, side by side, if there's a lot of difference or not. I mean, that's what you're here for, right? To see comparisons. Going now with Paradise Glow. Okay, this shade right here is more satin, and this one is more matte, like a terracotta kind of shade. Okay, definitely deeper. Just gonna swatch it right here, and then I'm just gonna mix in the two. Paradise Glow. Refer 19 brush, and let's go first with the lighter shade. And I'm just gonna apply it right here, to the middle of the cheek. Now I'm gonna flip it and go for that deeper shade. Love this tone. This is very pretty. This is very, very pretty. Okay, I'm just gonna mix both of them, and I'm just gonna swirl it. You can see first before I swirl. Yeah, this has more warmth, more terracotta. This is more pink leaning. Okay, we got Paradise Glow on my right hand side, Cosmic Coral on my left side. The last shade, Night Bloom. And this is just heat in the blush. Wow, this is just so intense. Ooh, that's very red. Huh. Okay. So this is purple, and this is very red, and it looks very matte too. Okay, I'm gonna just mix them right in the middle, see what happened there. Night Bloom. I'm gonna go with Wayne Go's Artist brush, and this one, it is made out of blue squirrel hair bristles. And usually with these type of brushes, this type of natural hair bristle, it will pick up not a lot of product and it will disperse it. So I'm doing it because I know this blush right here is not meant for my skin tone, but I want to see if I can make it work. So anyhow, going with this baby right here, and I'm going to apply the lilac shade first, right in the front of my cheeks. It's actually a very pretty tone. And now switching it on the other side, I'm going to go with a red tone. And I'm just going to take it and drape it. Very, very intense for sure. Not suitable for my skin tone, honestly. Look at that. It's just way too much. I'm just gonna go ahead and buff with the same brush. I don't feel like mixing in more because it's just very, very intense. Paradise Glow on my right hand side and Night Bloom on my left side. And then as far as comparisons with the permanent blushes from Pat McGrath, I could think Cherish maybe the one that is most comparable to these other ones. Like for example, let's see, Cosmic Coral, coral tone. Cosmic Coral has a little bit more warmth. Divine Rose 2 for sure. Okay, this one is way more alike to Cherish. So Cherish on top, Cosmic Coral, and then Divine Rose 2. Yeah, it's alike to Divine Rose 2. One of my favorite blushes from Pat McGrath, Paradise Venus. This is a dream, this blush right here. And I'm gonna compare to Paradise Glow. Super alike. And then to Cosmic Coral. There's a little bit of difference right here. Slight nuance. So this has a little bit more red in it. And this one is my favorite, perhaps, from the entire collection of Pat McGrath, Desert Orchid. And let's compare it to Paradise Glow, the lighter shade, as well as, let's go for Cosmic Coral again. You know, I think Paradise Glow, this shade right here. Very similar. I think if there's very little difference, there are subtle differences. Electric Bloom, oh my gosh, another amazing shade right here. To Venus Sunrise and Night Bloom. Completely different right here. Yep, all of them very different. Last one, Nymphette to Divine Rose 2, this shade here. Very comparable. And then here are all the shades if you want to make a pause right there. I went ahead and reapplied Paradise Glow on this side of my face just to make it a little bit more even. Completely done with all the swatches, the comparisons, to my final thoughts right here. Okay, in terms of formulation, magnificent. All the formulas right here, from the satins to the demi matte, they are beautiful, super easy to blend, very, very pigmented. Perhaps the only formula right here that I honestly dislike is this red shade right here. And it's not because it's red, it's just because if you touch it, I don't know if it's mine in a specific, I feel that is a little bit dull, a little bit dry in comparison to all the rest. Even in comparison with this same one right here, it's not as soft. It feels gritty. It just feels like it's just a pigment and it doesn't have enough emollients. And yeah, and I'm pretty sure it will leave you a stain if you let it be for a long time. I mean, I'm not sure about it, but I feel like that. And then going back to this Night Bloom, to me is the night sister, the very rebellious sister of Venetian Sunrise. Venetian Sunrise is like, oh yeah, I'm different, but yet I'm still a little bit more timid. And this one is like, wow. And here it is my point on these two right here. I really appreciate that Pat McGrath take into account to have not only a duo selection, but also that here she's targeting different skin tones. One for lighter complexions, medium complexions, one for deeper, rich complexions. And I think she has done pretty much the same on all the other shades, just making it just a little bit deeper and deeper, a little bit at a time. Definitely these blushes, they cater for different skin tones. I think the thing that I'm just a little bit of like bum about it is that most of these blushes, they do have a lot of pink in them, a lot of pink. I mean, in uniqueness, this is one of the more unique. This one is unique too. This one a little bit more unique as well. This one, it is Cosmic Coral, but they all have pink leaning. I mean, the only one that is not too pinky is Paradise Glow, the one that I apply. I think this one is more on the neutral side, and then you have a side with a lighter tone and then a deeper tone. So I wish there was a little bit more variation. I know she's in all these, like for the last 3 years, on these divine rose, all roses, right? But roses, they come in different shades too. I mean, and we can see it right here, with these purpley tones, but they also come in a little bit of the peachy tones, orange tones. So I wish that there was a little bit more of that variation. Now, as far as being a duo blush, I love that part. Absolutely love it. And I feel like this should have been perhaps her first launch on blushes, being duos. Not because I dislike the permanent ones. No, I love them all, and I love that there's so many different shades. But I really love the duality because one, you can use one side of the blush and then the other side of the blush depending on which eyeshadow look you have, or blend it, or draping it, which is to me ideal. Drape the lightest shade right here and then put the deepest shade up here to create a little bit more, not only dimension, but also a little bit more of a shape on your face, kind of like contouring with blush, which is extremely beautiful. So I think this perhaps should have been, like her first idea. Now the main question is, do I like these blushes? Yes, I do like the formulation. Yes, I do like the shades. I mean, like, if you tell me which one I will pick up, this one is different enough, fun enough. Is Venusian Sunrise. I will definitely keep that one. I really enjoy Cosmic Coral, definitely 100%. Paradise Glow too. All of them are very pretty. Perhaps Divine Rose 2 is just like too much of the same. But even this one right here, which is Aphrodite Amore, is really lovely too. It's kind of like bubble gummy, which I really, really like. So if this caught your attention, I will say a total yes. What I would have rather seen from Pat McGrath this year, more than blushes, or even if it was blushes, cream blushes would have been amazing. Even if they were in this format, would have been a lot of fun, something different and something very out of the box, because I don't see a lot of duo blushes on the same pan that they are cream. So that would have been wonderful, but something that I'm just like drooling and really wanting to see from Pat McGrath is a creation on bronzers. That would be incredible. I think that is something that definitely Pat McGrath is missing, and a little bit in Pat McGrath, not completely. I'm like, I really love the embossing, everything, right? But just steering away from so much pink. Although pink is in fashion, I mean, like everything, every blush that is pink goes viral in TikTok, everywhere. It just goes viral. So anyhow, my friends, and as far as the eyeshadow mini nugget palette, I think the decoration is beautiful. Obviously, if you have all the Mothership palettes that I showed today, you don't need them all, but otherwise, it's a really good way to try her formulation. Okay, my friends, and I think this makes it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, that you found it helpful, informative, that it really helps you to make a decision whether to get these blushes, put them on your wish list, and let's just continue the conversation on the comment section down below. While you're at it, and if you haven't done so yet, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, share with family and friends. And until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.